Today we hopped back in the car and headed off to Dachau. But first we had to make a stop and grab a couple of sweet treats and some coffees and teas. I have no idea what I got, but it was so good. I did get a tiger chai latte and that was the bomb. Then we got back on the road and headed to the memorial site for Dachau. It's a much bigger site than I had expected. It's about 618 acres in total. I appreciate the thought that went into the building of the visitor center, the aesthetics, and just thinking about the way that they made it look like bars, and it's cold and concrete looking. This is part of the original wall that kept the prisoners in. Now, Dachau originally started out as a prisoner camp for those that had already been imprisoned for political crimes. This building originally was used to manufacture ammunition and different things of that sort, but then it was used to house the prisoners. This is the original gate that was at Dachau, but it was stolen at one point, and they found it in Poland in 2014. So they put it behind a case to keep it safe. These were the locations, or the barracks as they called them, for all of the prisoners. Inside the barracks, they originally housed 50 men in one bunk area. That then escalated to them housing 100 men. You're going to see how the bunks change in this room, to then housing 500 men in the next room. And these are all of the bunks to house them. Now imagine there were over 1,000 people that had 15 minutes to use the bathroom, wash themselves and eat, and then line up in the courtyard to be accounted for each morning at 4:30 a.m. A couple of things I didn't know were that everybody had to wear some type of a badge, whether it be a star or a triangle. They were all different colored for various different reasons. It wasn't just Jews that wore the yellow star. It was various different people. So you might have been a political prisoner, you could have been a prisoner that was colored, you could have been a prisoner that was a homosexual. They labeled you in whatever way they saw fit. Something we learned today is that it was only Auschwitz that actually tattooed the prisoners. What you're seeing here are the rows and rows of where the bunk areas would have been for the prisoners. Now all of these buildings had been removed, but this is what is left of them. When the prisoners arrived, they would be taken into a disinfectant area, and this is where they would take them in and use a type of disinfectant that burnt very badly on them. Then they took them to the bathhouse, which we also know was a gas chamber. And this is one of the gas chambers that they had there at Dachau. The next room leads into the crematorium. They could fit up to 4 bodies in each of these. It's absolutely sobering what went on here. And this wasn't even one of the worst concentration camps. But one of the biggest things that I took away was that Dachau people were here, the neighbors, the people of the city, and they could have heard what was going on. They could have smelled it, but nobody did anything. And I think we need to remember that if we hear or we see something that's not right, we need to stop and do something.